Pour out your dick?
They're not going to pour out on my dick.
Oh. All right, we are live and recording.
Just every time I drink IPA, it just pours right out my dick. Just,
Literally out of your dick. Just straight through.
it's like a.
It goes right through you.
It's like a fountain, it's a fountain with a little cherub, and IPA is just pouring out my dick.
Welcome to Fort Brewers. My name is Matt Becker, and as always, I'm joined by
John Holzer.
Jason Harris.
and Greg had to leave.
Greg had to go.
He had to vamoose.
Vamos!
Which is too bad because he's missing out on a bunch of really great beer right now.
In Greg's place, we have.
What?
I think the recorder is dead. Give me a second.
Hail Satan. Ryan Betty. Ryan McGregor.
What's the Montego?
Mercury Montego?
Yeah.
I feel like it's a full size.
It's a full-size sedan.
I mean, like most everything.
That was the second. The second.
Weird. So it was a Fusion in late model. They just rebranded a Fusion in 2005 to 7. But 68 to 76. Let's see. 69 Mercury Montego. Yeah, that's a full size. It's a full size wagon. And then the Montego would be 68, part of the Comet line, but that was later. Yeah, Torino. It's a Ford Torino rebrand.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Which Torino also. So I'm a big fan of the unloved muscle brands because there's some cool fucking cars that don't get love. Like everyone loves Camaro, everyone loves Mustang. Go to any car show, you'll see 1,000 fucking Mustangs and Camaros.
GTOs, yeah.
Yeah. Go to fucking the Route 66 show with 2,000 cars. 2 or 3 Cougars.
Right.
200 Mustangs. A couple hundred Camaros, Chevelles, like a million Chevelles.
Yep.
Like any Chevy, there's a million of. But then like Pontiacs, there's not so many. Well, there's a lot of GTOs, right? But
Yeah, that's about it.
even like the Firebird is not very popular.
Well, there weren't that many of them, though. I mean, usually the bulk of them are all going to be like 65 to 75 when you're talking about classic muscle cars. I mean, earlier than that, you really start to see a pretty fast drop off.
The Firebird was the cousin of the Camaro. So you have 68 to whenever. The Firebird was really popular. The Firebird Trans Am.
Was that late? Oh, the Firebird. I'm thinking of the Thunderbird. Excuse me.
Oh yeah, the Thunderbird is
Thunderbird was old.
Thunderbird's
right?
a weird car.
Yeah.
It has changed identities so many times. It finally died in like 2003. But
I remember my dad had a late model, and it was just like a sedan.
My dad had a 97 Thunderbird, which is a big. It is a coupe. They're always coupes, actually. Thunderbird. That's the one consistent thing. They're always two doors. Okay. But the Thunderbird's a weird car because it was a Corvette competitor. Then it became like a full-size coupe. It got real big. It changed so much. Thunderbird's a weird car.
Yeah.
It's a really weird... If you follow the history of the Thunderbird, it's changed drastically over the years. Got real big. Went from real small to real big.
Real big, yeah.
80s ones were like a big Mustang. They had turbo ones that were pretty cool. Yeah, Thunderbird. Weird car. Supercharged one in the 90s.
Really?
Yeah, budget muscle car. Yeah,
and then there was like also the one-off that they did for like 1 year.
When retro was real big, they did that super retro one in the early 2000s.
Yeah,
that was the last Thunderbird they did.
All right, yeah, my dad had like one of the late 90s ones that was just like
my dad had a 97.
Yeah, like you wouldn't have been able to spot it. Like
yeah, they look like a jelly bean, right? They're big 2-door jelly bean. They're comfy, big, old man cars.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But they did a supercharged one that was pretty quick for the day. It was a supercharged 6-cylinder.
Nice. All right, let's do it. Welcome to Fort Brewers. My name is Matt Becker, and as always, I'm joined by
John Holzer.
Jason Harris.
And Greg isn't here. He had to leave. Oh, well, we miss you, Greg.
But we've got...
Again, Greg is missing out on some fine beers. I'm sorry, you weren't here last week. I don't know my ass from my
We've got a sleepy dog over there, though.
We do. That's Matt Barker.
Sleepy Betty. Oh, Matt Barker, I gotta take a nap. Find me on Patreon.
So, which beer do we want to start with?
Where do we get all these crazy New Englandy cans?
Where did they come from, John? They came from...
This came from Juan, who is a supporter of ours on Patreon. His Instagram account is Juan Moore _ IPA.
And he also hung out with us at the anniversary party, too.
Yeah, he's like a super fan of the show. So he actually was going to meet up with me in Orange County when I met up with Robert French to get the beers for our new Glory show. And I forgot to text him telling him that I was at Bottle Logic. So he instead mailed us the beers.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it just didn't work out with me picking him up. He's a local fan, local beer dude. Again, his photos on Instagram are pretty awesome.
Are really good, yeah.
It's Juan Moore IPA, JUAN Moore _ IPA. So
yeah, definitely worth a follow.
But for right now, we're starting with Clear AF from El Segundo. This is the Full Pints, their 10th anniversary beer?
It's one of them. Yeah, it's definitely an anniversary. Can I ask you guys something real quick? Like when people like say internet speak like out loud, which is just something that I do people say AF or AF?
AF.
I always say AF.
I've heard both.
Yeah. I'm always I read this as
AF.
Yeah, I read it as clear AF.
But if you look at the label, it's got a period after A and after F.
Oh, they're wrong.
So
so this is how you know I'm an elderly person. I learned about the AF term from a friend of mine who is a substitute teacher, and she's like, yeah, the kids always say this AF like means as fuck. I'm like, that's a cool phrase. And
nice.
Then started saying it, but I literally learned about it from someone who teaches the kids.
You want to know something funny? Is like most of my internet speak I get from you, Jason. Like you're the person
Thanks,
you're like my go-to when I want to know like what the fuck is up with the internet.
You know, teachers they're underappreciated and underpaid. So
yeah,
it's a good story to hear that a teacher taught you what as fuck AF means. So
they're underappreciated AF.
There you go.
See what you did there.
There you go.
Quick side note: Jason and I were talking about classic cars earlier, and turns out there's a Ford Torino wagon.
Oh, wagons are. Dude,
this thing is dope, dude.
I will. If I don't have a wagon in the next 5 years, it'll be weird. Like I'm gonna get something.
You can hear
the muscle wagon is like really like calling my name.
Yeah,
that's the Patreon only pre-show.
Yeah, exactly.
You can listen to that on.
Yeah,
seriously, it's a thing.
Also, also one thing like so I've been listening to more stoner metal than normal, and like van culture is really big amongst those dudes.
Of course,
I get it. You can smoke weed back there.
A lot.
That's the only real upside I can think of
you
for
could
a van.
Eat back there. You could sleep. You could bone.
You can haul your gear, all of your musical equipment. Like, come on, guys, that's the whole point.
Youth, my dad had a van.
I've never been in a van, so I don't know.
My dad had like a Ford Econoline van, and it was like a 2-seat van, just like a full cargo van with a sliding door and shit. And my dad had he literally built a seat out of like plywood and shit, and he put like speakers in the bottom of it, and he like upholstered it, and he installed seat belts and shit. But one of my favorite memories of youth, it was we would take this fucking big, it was kind of raised up like Ford Econoline van, and we would drive. We would be going towards like the train tracks, and we'd be like, "Faster, Dad, faster!" And we would lay down in the middle of the van because there was a seat in the very back. Air? We would lay down on the floor in the middle of the van, and he would go like 50 miles an hour over the train tracks, and we'd fly 4 feet up in the air, and then land hard on the floor of the van.
The 80s, dude.
And this is something millennials will never get.
Another thing millennials have killed.
Millennials have killed fucking dangerously flying through the passenger compartment of a van. So clear F. But this is great.
It's clear.
Smells really good. It is super clear, which right on. Actually, it's not like filtered clear, but it's about as clear as an unfiltered beer is going to get. Can I see the bottle real quick?
I mean, it's in a
22-ounce bottle for a throwback.
It's a take on the hazy IPAs, obviously. So.
Yeah, it's making fun of them. Chasing flavor over hype. This unabashedly West Coast IPA is bursting with aroma, finishes crisp, and is unapologetically clear. AF.
Nelson, Citra, Mosaic, and Eldorado hops.
Nelson, Citra, Mosaic, and Eldorado. So they're all kind of in between. There's no Galaxy. So it's not quite that juicy profile, but it's definitely up there.
Yeah. Smells dank. Smells massively hoppy.
It's
super
a
danky.
big, clear West Coast palate cleanser before the juice bombs that we have coming at us.
6.9%. I always appreciate an IPA under 7%.
Yep.
That's definitely my personal IPA sweet spot.
I mean, it's not like super dry. It's got like a nice body to it. It sounds cliche at this point. And how many IPAs can you drink and say, yeah, it's not super dry, but it's got a nice body to it? That's what this beer is. It's a well done.
I don't know, dude. This is dry and it's bitter too. Wow.
Maybe I'm thinking more of the flavor of the malts than the body.
Yeah, true.
But it's tasty.
It's fucking delicious.
Yeah, I am thoroughly enjoying this.
I'd crush the fuck out of this beer. And I will. I'm currently doing it.
I am doing it right now.
We don't talk about the full pint much on this show.
We don't. They're
good.
homies.
Yeah, and they're not just like a news aggregator website. They write articles, and there's columns that Danny does and Franny and from time to time.
Yeah, they definitely have a lot of fresh content.
I wrote an article there once.
Did you? You did.
Yeah, I wrote an article about Stone.
Yeah.
And I got a letter in the mail from Stone. I was like, are they mad about my article? And they're just like, no, your fucking beer futures are coming in eventually. They still haven't come in, actually.
Oh.
My fucking like, hey, that beer you bought on Kickstarter, it's coming.
It was on Indiegogo. It wasn't Kickstarter.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, still haven't seen that fucking beer.
But if you didn't know, we are also on the Full Pint. Like, they have a whole section just for Brewers at thefullpint.com. If for some reason you don't want to go to our website, you can go there and see the same stuff.
Yeah,
So,
we were
Brewers.
Yeah,
your website blows dick. I liked it.
Like, I literally copy and paste everything from our posts onto the Full Pint.
Hey, it works though.
So but they're big supporters of ours. We support them. We're fans of the Full Pint. Been friends with them for a long time.
I mean, you just talk about genuinely good people.
Oh, yeah.
I follow a few beer websites, and the Full Pint is one of the few that is producing. They're still making a good effort to produce original content and not just like post press releases. You know?
They are not a press release like only website.
Yeah.
They their latest article was about how we need to overhaul GABF.
Right.
And that, for a website of their caliber and popularity, I think is kind of a gutsy post to make. The Brewers Association knows the Full Pint, and they know they're trying to be constructive with their post.
They're aware.
But still, to say that, I think that makes them unique, because I haven't really seen that yet, this close to GABF, after GABF. So that's cool. But yeah, Full Pint's awesome.
Yep. And this is an awesome beer. Also from one of our favorite brewers.
Yeah, they've really gotten into the collab beer game. They did the Monkish one, with the
They did the Rex.
Heart, it was the Heart Foundation from early '90s wrestling with with the guys from Full Pint crudely photoshopped onto them.
Yeah, Bret Hart, and I don't know who the other guy was.
Jim the
Anvil Neidhart.
Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Hell yeah.
Heart Foundation.
That's one of my quickie reviews that I did too. It's on our YouTube channel.
That's a good beer.
It was.
The Full Pint's got a good record with collab beers. I don't know how much they have influence on it. If they're just like, hey, make a clear IPA, and Elskina's like, got you,
I will say they work their asses off to get unique beers just for their anniversary parties, because they do sell tickets for their parties, and it's an event to go to. Like, you get really good unique stuff there.
They are excellent curators for sure.
Yeah, Franny, I know, does a lot of the footwork for that too. So, and she's also for the Los Angeles County Brewers Association, or Los Angeles County Brewers Guild.
The Brewers Guild,
Brewers Association. She's a busy person. So, her basically facilitating all of these beers for this party is, yeah.
Hell yeah, right on.
You guys like beer?
I also like beer.
I do.
You like sex and money? We should hang out.
Oh, so good.
So like we said earlier, these beers are from one He sent them to us. Was gonna meet up with us to give them to us.
These beers are all big gets, so thank you, my friend.
Yeah, he went on a trip to these breweries and brought them back.
Oh, he personally muled these ones. He didn't trade them. That's cool as fuck.
So,
that'd be awesome too. When I was in Boston, I considered driving to Vermont. I think Treehouse hadn't really hit the scene yet. It was about 3 years ago. I literally was like, I have one weekend here in Boston. How far would it be to drive to the Alchemist? I was like, or Hill Farmstead, and I was like, 3 hours? That's not that far. That'd go to a whole nother state. But I decided to spend my weekend in Boston instead.
So there's the next CBC, the Craft Brewers Conference, is in Nashville, right? And there's
Dude, I had a fucking great time in Nashville. We should.
I'm
go.
super tempted, but there's a brewery called Heirloom.
Beer sucks.
Heirloom Artisan Ales, and I don't. I'm from a coast, so I don't know anything about the actual inside of America, right? And so Heirloom Rustic Ales is being opened by this guy named Jake Miller, who's bounced around to a few different of like my favorite farmhouse breweries. And so I'm really stoked about it. And I'm like, Nashville, that must be around there somewhere. It turns out they're in Oklahoma. And I'm like, well, I mean, I wonder how close that is. I wonder if I could drive if I ended up going to CBC. About 8 hours, yeah. And I'm like, no, that's not going to work. Oh, well.
I will say, though, Nashville, great town. Like, I had a great time there. Beer sucks. Like, they have a local beer scene, but it's like...
leaves something to be desired.
5 to 10 years behind, I think, the rest of everywhere else. Sorry, anybody from Nashville, but yeah, the beer scene.
Prove us wrong, Nashville. Prove us wrong.
San Antonio had the same problem. I hear Austin's really good. I didn't spend a lot of time in Austin for beer, but Texas beer scene feels like 10 years behind. It's like Jester King and then
everybody else. Yeah. So we are starting with a Trillium beer here, you guys. We're doing Fort Point Pale Ale, which is Galaxy Dry Hopped. Trillium, well known as one of the progenitors of the hazy IPA style, or at least the popularizers.
I did go to Trillium when I was in Boston because they're in the city proper. Not their new tasting room actually is in Canton or whatever outside the city. But
yeah, I was gonna say they have like a new facility or something.
Yeah,
like that, right?
I've told the story before, but I went to their tasting room. I'm like, wow, there's a big line here. Where'd all these guys come from? And it turned out Extreme Beer Fest was happening 3 blocks away.
Yeah.
Speaking of Extreme Beer Fest, they're doing their fest this year with the LA Brewers Guild. So
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a fest already. I don't know anybody who went, so I don't know how it went.
Yeah, but this year it's a whole thing. It's with LA Brewers. So
I'd be more into that.
Pretty cool. I think Todd is actually living in Venice or something.
He's somewhere nearby. We ran into him at the Brewers Guild Fest.
Yeah, so he's a local LA guy.
So he's not a Bostonian anymore?
Nope.
Yeah, so
that's surprising.
And turns out
trying to be less mean to Beer Advocate now because he seemed like a real nice guy.
He was super cool.
Yeah.
And he accepted my apology for calling him an asshole when you're at GABF.
Our relationship with Beer Advocate is rocky.
That's a generous way to put it.
Right now it's okay. So we're
right now we're cool.
Yeah.
We had a breakup that was kind of nasty. We made up.
I don't think
now when we see each other
together.
when we see each other at social events, we're able to make small talk. You know,
we just kind of threw rocks at Beer Advocate and like they dodged them and said, "Fuck you guys, stop throwing."
No, they
rocks
didn't. They didn't even notice.
And
barely even notice.
They were just like, "What's going on with these rocks?"
Pretty much, yeah. NBT was like the one like, oh my god, when Steve was going off. I remember we were at Bill's house and he would just go off on Twitter, like on a rant with these guys, and just it's like, what are you doing, man?
So how does everyone like the beer?
Fighting with Beer Advocate.
I mean, and now Rate Beer is fucking literally owned by InBev, and he's like, craft beer is just the same as fucking regular beer anyway, so it might as well be the same.
Yeah,
fuck that guy.
Yeah, Beer Advocate got the last laugh on that one.
Definitely.
Fucking Rate Beer, yeah. What a shithole.
And the funny thing too is, I think I mentioned this before. I didn't know that Beer Advocate was older than Rate Beer. Rate Beer is actually the newer of the two websites.
I knew that. Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that because the thing is Beer Advocate always looked good and Rate Beer always kind of looked like shit. So I was like, this has to be the older website. Nope.
BA always they insisted on doing all their shit in house, so like their forums and stuff were like kind of janky compared to if they would have gotten like an off the shelf forum solution.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of problems with that for years. They were kind of notorious for having like bad website because they did it all in house and they were like learning how to program their own websites.
Yeah, and how to code.
It's fine now.
Yeah, it's a lot. Well, I mean, after like 15 years of doing it, I would hope. How's everyone like this beer here?
It's pretty goddamn good. I love Galaxy hops, man. They have such a cool character. I think they're such a distinct hop versus other hops. Versus hops.
Versus hops,
They're distinct versus other hops. Unlike Cascade, the anonymous hop.
No, Willamette, that's the anonymous hop. That's just hop.
That's true. I had an all Amarillo beer the other day. It was weird.
It is weird. That's not one that you see by itself very
from
often.
Bissell Bros.
Who?
Bissell Brothers? San Diego Brewery.
Oh, dude, I cannot keep track of San Diego, man.
Well, we're going down there, and you're going to learn every brewery.
No, I'm not going, remember?
Me and Officer John here are going to make you drink the whole bag.
Yeah, you guys are going to have a fun trip, and alas, I cannot go.
That sucks.
Yeah, but I'm sure you guys will have fun.
A whale's vagina. San Diego.
So
San Diegans.
I don't know what this smells like.
Yeah, I can't quite put my finger on it either.
It smells like hops. It smells kind of like it's got that cake batter kind of thing. Yes. I think a little bit. A little fruity, but maybe a little peachy, I guess.
I'm surprised at how subdued it is, honestly. Like I expected, it is a pale ale though, so you kind of expect that to be a little bit more middle of the road.
I mean, it smells good, but it's just kind of all muddled, I think.
That's that smearing effect. It's the hazy smear.
The hazy schmear.
The hazy smear.
That's on everything bagel. You got to get a hazy smear on it. And
mouthfeel though. That's creamy.
Yeah, I mean the mouthfeel's great. Like I said, I could use a little bit more aroma. Besides that,
to be honest, this doesn't have that like kind of gritty palate coating that you get at a lot of the New Englandy style stuff.
Apparently, Bissell Brothers is in Maine.
Holy shit, I'm a dumbass. Well, I got a can of it at like my local liquor, so they're apparently around.
Yeah, seriously.
Fuck, I seriously thought they were San Diego. Who am I mixing them up with?
It's really easy to assume that if there's a brewery that you've never heard of before and it's available around here, it's probably from San Diego. Like, that's a really easy, like, assumption to make.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, thanks, Ryan, in the chat. You made a fool of me. You've ruined me, Ryan. The show is over. I quit.
Nice.
And I retire a fool. No, I'm good. We're going to drink the rest of these beers.
Yeah, definitely. So right on. I really like that. What do we got up next year?
We've got a beer from what looks like
that's a Treehouse beer. Let's do it.
Really cool label. It's got like a log cabin on it.
I think you give us 2 Treehouse beers now.
We do. We got Julius in there too.
Oh yeah, Julius is in there, which we've done on the show, and we will fucking do every time.
Gladly.
Send us Julius once a month, and we will
gladly do it again.
Julius every single fucking time.
Yep. That's like one of those hype beers that is super worth.
I will say this: we have yet to have green on the show. So
I've had green; it's really good.
I want to do it on the show though.
Green's really good. What's the one that we've had haze before? That's the one that
if you talk to Joe Senegalia from Joe's Arcade, that's his goat beer. It's the greatest of all time.
Wow,
it's
that's a bold statement.
His number 1 IPA.
Did you guys see the well, you did, but did you guys see the Pace Mag IPA showdown they did?
I didn't look through it.
I posted it on our page.
Paste magazine.
Yeah, Paste
I saw
Got
they
it.
did it,
All right.
and like I kind of struggled to take Pace magazine seriously. So I kind of wrote it off.
It was kind of interesting. I'm kind of with you in that, like, I'm not 100%. Although people say the same thing with our blind shows, right? Where they're like, "Oh, you didn't score this high. You're dumb." But it was interesting because a lot of big hitter beers didn't make their top 50.
Yeah,
I think
It
my
was
thing
like
with the, like
Kern River,
Paste.
Kern River Citra, Pliny the Elder.
well, we've never had good experiences with Citra on this show.
Heady Topper, or maybe not.
No, Herdy made it in like 43rd or something like
Yeah,
that.
but
right?
there was another Alchemist beer that didn't, like, beers didn't make the top 50. Like, beers from big hype breweries. There were some other ones too that I can't think of right now, but it was really interesting to see. But Treehouse scored really highly, but the beer that they did was their beer Bright. Their clear, not their hazy beer, but their one clear IPA they make.
Yeah.
It was really
I
interesting.
don't know. I think my struggle with the whole Paste thing is the volume of beers that they do. You know, like,
Yeah, they're not very transparent about their method.
yeah, I'd be
And I'm
really
just
curious to
how
see.
did you review 160 beers?
That's a shitload of beer. Like, you can't like do that in one session.
Who
you know?
are these people?
Yeah,
That's
and
my
who are
thing.
they? Yeah, that's the other thing too.
And I feel like, as unprofessional as we may be in some of our reviewing, if you listen to Four Brewers, you know what Matt likes, you know what John likes, you know what I like, you know what Greg likes. Like, we're
pretty vocal.
We have tastes that we've defined by being people who talk about beer for
Constantly,
not for a living, for a hobby.
It's also the only thing our podcast does is talk about beer.
Yeah.
So
And
Paste
so-
magazine.
Yeah, what even are they? I don't even know what they do.
They
Like-
just, they're like a lifestyle kind of. They talk about everything, kind of
Yeah,
like
I mean,
Mashable kind
To
of
give
thing.
them credit, their beer section is pretty robust. They do a lot of beer content, and they're
Okay.
They're not like not beer related, but yeah, like, who are the reviewers? What methodology are they using? And they don't really share that. They talk about doing heats, and like, beers get passed on to the next round if they like. It's again, it's kind of opaque. The methodology. And as someone who does a fucking beer show, I'm like, how the fuck do you score that many beers and rate them against each other?
Yeah,
like,
seriously.
we do 20 beers and we're like, fuck me, this
We're
is a
fucked.
logistical fucking nightmare.
Yeah,
And
for
they talk
real.
about they do them over multiple days and whatever. I'm like, so do you have the same people? Like, what categories are you scoring them on? Like, I don't know.
What's your scoring system?
Yeah,
Like for us, it's very much just like, a first impression. Let's talk about it a little bit. Give it a plain score. I mean, how are they actually doing? What are the criteria that they're looking for? It's so. I mean, it's really interesting.
For us, we don't have hard criteria, but people know who we are and what our tastes are, and we are judging based on our tastes. But Pace Mag is anonymous tasters tasted these beers and they rated them X based on whatever their criteria.
Yeah,
Who are these people? Can I trust their
they
palates?
create an impression of neutrality, which, I mean, when we do these things, we are very much like, these are our opinions. We're not neutral. We're just like going by what we like. This is a fun thing that we're doing. It's not meant to be definitive.
If you didn't want to hear our opinions, you shouldn't listen to our show.
Yeah, that's literally what we're doing.
It's like our whole fucking thing.
But the thing with like Paste, like, breweries will share those articles, and I don't know why those are so much more important. I mean, okay, they are much more important than ours because I guess Paste has more people going to their website.
Visibility, yeah.
But it just kind of irks me a little bit. It's like, yeah, we worked to rank all these beers too, and I put in hours of work, and we bought these beers. We're, I don't know.
Yeah,
I take beer rankings from sites like that with a grain of salt. And I'll use them for like vague reference, like, okay, this beer here, if it's consistent with a lot of those type of websites, then it's fine. But I don't know.
I just realized there's been a picture sitting in our chat for a minute. That's Keanu Napoleon Dynamite.
I saw that. That's amazing.
Oh, is that what it is?
So good.
I was like, what is that picture? I was like, oh, it's Keanu Napoleon.
Keanu Napoleon Dynamite.
Call back to last show.
That was fucking Ryan again. Dude.
Oh, that's amazing.
Who is this Ryan guy?
Ryan, you're killing it.
Are you a patron?
You should come to our chat all the time. Ryan, you're our new favorite.
Thanks, Ryan 24311.
That's badass.
I hope that's a zip code.
Yeah. So this
Or maybe he's
Treehouse beer.
24 years old and he loves 311. He's coming original all over our chat. Gotta come original.
That's great.
This fucking beer, you guys smell this thing. Oh, just God, give me the can.
I was gonna read the copy, but Treehouse copy's always fucking weird.
I want to read it.
They're like high as fuck when they write this shit.
Do you want me to read? Do you want Steve-O to read it?
Yeah, do it.
It's big green.
Okay, you guys. So, where is it? Hang on.
Wait, what were we talking about?
Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry. So we're excited that you're holding Treehouse Brewing Company's Pale Ale Lights On. Oh yeah, the lights are on in there.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, sorry. Lights On exhibits quintessential Treehouse character in a light package. You know who else has a light package? No, not me. With notes of peach, mango, papaya, and citrus.
Bro, it's okay if you do.
I don't feel good about it though.
Just accept it.
All right, I guess I'll work on it. It's a true joy to drink. Modern take on a classic pale ale. It's a result of our uncompromising dedication to fresh, progressive, and delightful beer. Oh, it's delightful. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
We hope to enjoy it with laughter, good cheer, and the company of those you love. That's pretty dope, you guys.
I love you.
I love you too, man.
Jason, love you, man.
You know, that's John's never been high
I
before.
love everybody so much. I don't love Donald Trump, though. But
Isn't that guy a dick?
We just lost that one fan.
No, we lost that fan a long time ago.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
He was all in and then all out.
It's a true joy to drink.
just because we mentioned how we don't like Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Yep. R.I.P.
So
Like Eminem, we're drawing a line in the fucking sand.
yeah, he went off, didn't he?
Okay.
So it's good. That's
This muddled hop thing on the nose. Like,
Yeah, it's hoppy, but not like
you cannot break it down.
The character is super not distinct, and which again isn't a flaw per se. It's just it's unusual, and it's hard for somebody who talks about beer to talk about, because it's just so like this like vague hoppiness, you know?
Yeah. That being said, though, like fucking Treehouse, they crush that mouthfeel. They nail that fucking mouthfeel every single time.
They get that softness without being gritty.
Yeah,
it's not like it's weird because the minerality that goes into the New England style can get to the point where it's harsh. It's soft to where then it is now almost gritty, where it's like actually like feeling like you put sandpaper on your tongue,
it's like that tannic astringency, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like again, the dude, sorry, I can't remember your name, who sent me a message about it. It's the super soft water. That's the secret, man. I swear to God, that's the secret. You know, because I don't know what Monkeys is doing, admittedly. I don't know how they do it, but everyone else around here, there's always that element of that roughness in there, you know? I
straight asked Henry about if he treated his water to get that softer, the chloride,
the backpack full of cans?
Sulfate to chloride ratio.
Sulfate to chloride ratio.
Yeah.
And I asked about that. He's like, no, we don't do that. And I was like, I don't think you'd lie to me.
Maybe he just happens, like that area has that kind of water. You never know.
It could be. I don't know. But L.A.
He's also a fucking evil genius.
What'd you say, man?
I said L.A. though. I don't know. Like,
You-
I don't know
you-
what the water,
you don't
water is
know.
like that.
Like,
Yeah, I
you're
don't know.
not,
That's a good question.
Henry's a fucking genius, though, so he's probably doing some fucking mad scientist shit.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? But that being said, this is fantastic.
Yep.
Like, goddamn, this is such a great beer. Fucking Treehouse. Do we want to get our Julius on here?
Julius.
Oh, yes, Jason, the van that you posted in the chat. Yes. Yes. That is van culture.
The dual rear wheels is really
It's a bit excessive, isn't it?
It's a dually van.
It's a bit much.
but like it's crazy. Crazy, man.
The beer name,
Crazy.
dually van. It's a dually van. Dooley.
Yes.
Van.
Dooley
I
Van.
really like,
yes. For an extra dank
Dooley-
IPA, right?
Then
yes.
The double
Keeping it-
IPA is Dooley Van with ground effects. Yeah. I don't know. It has ground effects on it.
Airbrush Dooley Van.
Ground effects. You know what ground effects are, right? Like
Yeah.
fiberglass bullshit you put on the wall.
Yeah, I know about car stuff.
Matt, do you know? I don't think you know.
I have a car.
Yeah, I know what that means.
Okay. Just making sure. All right.
That just fell off a cliff, didn't it? Wow. So we've done Julius before on the show, and it's wonderful. It's magical.
We're excited that you're holding Treehouse Brewing Company's flagship American IPA.
Now I'm just doing Sam Calagione now.
Julius. Julius is a bright tropical beer filled with notes of peach, mango, passion fruit, and a melange of citrus. Wow, that sounds off-centered. It's gentle on the palate while still incredibly hop-saturated. It's the result of our uncompromising dedication to fresh, progressive, delightful beer. We hope you enjoy it with laughter, good cheer, and in the company of those you love.
Actually, I sound like I'm doing a character from Portlandia.
Dude, I legit have anxiety that like Sam Calagione just happens to hear our show one time and gets like super bummed. Like he'd be like, "Oh, great, a beer show! I want to hear this." And then
this sounds like it'd be right up my alley.
And then we like take it hard to Dogfish, and he's just like, "Oh man."
He's like, "Bummer."
Yeah.
Sam Calagione is a millionaire that's got like a super massively popular brewery. I don't think his feelings are hurt by four assholes sitting in a room
Hey
in
man,
Riverside.
you still have feelings. Like
I'm still a person.
I seriously worry. Like I'm like, what if Sam Calagione one time heard us going hard at Dogfish, and he just like,
By the way,
put us on blast.
This whole us thing is you guys, not me.
Yeah, John is not in this.
I have been on a show with Sam. I'm a Sam fan. All right,
I am too, but like,
stop this inclusion bullshit you're doing.
Stop
If you're
with the
listening,
us thing.
Sam. If you're listening, I'm a fan. Hit me up.
I disavow these fuckers.
Let's play hockey and drink light beer.
You're like, the four brewers have problems, and some of them there's a lot of problems in four brewers on both sides.
Some of them.
Jason, I did not say that. You son of a bitch.
Oh, so good.
Some of the four brewers, I assume, are good people. The four brewers, they're not setting their best.
Did you get my son of a bitch joke? No.
I got the son of a bitch.
Okay, somebody got it.
The four brewers, they're not setting their best.
What an asshole!
Fucking Julius.
Fucking Donald Trump.
Fucking
Jesus
Julius, you guys.
Christ.
Julius.
All right, so we had Julius back
Sorry, Treehouse.
Yeah, how many times have we done this beer on the show?
once. Season 3, episode 16. We had 2 beers from Treehouse.
That was the Julius and Hayes, right?
Yep.
Nice.
And then we
And they
had
were super fresh too. They sent them to us.
Gray Sail from Rhode Island and Foolproof. So Queen of the Yard.
Oh, that's right, the Queen of the Yard.
Queen of the Yard.
We haven't busted out a shitty fucking
Shitty Boston accent, yeah, in a long time, right? Yeah, just I mean, what more can you say about this beer? Fuck me.
It's just it's super citrusy. It's super like smooth. Like it really like the name is super apt.
Yeah, it really is.
Very is like a orange slushy.
It has that
beer,
creamy thing going on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like the name is fucking dead on.
It really is.
They
Like,
really do nail that mouthfeel where it's just like perfectly creamy and dry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Man.
It's creamy.
Again,
It's creamy and dry, and it's soft. You know?
Without being minerally and harsh, which
Yep.
is what
Yeah.
happens. Like that's what my homebrew did, right? When I did the New England homebrew, it had that softness, but then it also had like too much minerality to
It's
it.
to the point where sometimes it burns the back of your throat.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
It almost takes like a acidic note. You know.
Yeah.
So this is not.
I feel
that,
like
though.
it's like literally just physically
Orange juice.
No, it's like not even acid. It's like literally there's physically particulates in there that are actually like
clean,
like clinging to your throat.
Yeah, like you're like, wow, that's a little harsh. It's like literally little tiny bits of calcium or some shit are fucking running down my throat.
Like I feel like I swallowed
I can kind of relate to that. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Even though it's
John
not,
swallows sand all the time.
it's not happening, but yeah, it's like it's so gritty, like it's hurting your throat when you swallow
Treehouse
it.
doesn't do that, and that is one of the key things that I think differentiates the originators, the top of the heap in this style, like Treehouse, versus the imitators, like the.
Oh, dude, when we were at the conference, the festival, the summit,
California Craft Beer Summit.
Yeah, the summit. I had a couple of quote unquote New England style IPAs that were so fucking harsh it hurt to drink them, and I'm like, are you guys drinking this? This sucks. Like it just sucked. Like, just I could not get into it at all.
And it's an evolution of the style. Like newer brewers are gonna try to brew that beer. They're gonna fuck it up, and it's gonna evolve over time, just like West Coast, like San Diego IPA.
Yeah.
Or not San Diego, but like Pliny type beers.
I mean, how like 5 years ago, how many brutally, harshly bitter IPAs would you have? Happened all the time before people figured out how to keep bitterness firm yet moderate.
I think I think of like East Coast breweries that tried to emulate West Coast beers, like West Coast IPA, and they just couldn't nail it because they were sticking to their, what they knew about brewing a double IPA, and then trying to apply West Coast standards or brewing practices to that.
Yeah.
And they just weren't doing it right. They weren't trying to make bad beer. They just didn't know how to do it.
Yeah. It's
still happening in Southern California.
Yeah.
And all over the country. So
yeah, you remember those old IPAs that they would have no aroma and all bitterness, and they're like, "This is our West Coast IPA." Fucking gross. No, it was bad.
I mean, we've talked about this before on the show, but the IBU race, right? We're like, we're 100 IBUs, like
or 2,000 IBUs.
Yeah, and what's funny is the market has evolved past that. Yeah. But what's funny is I still see a lot of like weird, cranky old guys who are just like, "Oh, these IPAs trying to do bitterness."
Where do you see that?
Homebrew like forums. Any homebrew forums.
Well, you're gonna see that, but
yeah, homebrewers are like homebrew forums are like full of really knowledgeable, cranky old dudes that are just like mad about like new beer. And they're like, I brew English milds because I can't get them in America.
It's just sad, like to be so closed off from like new things, where like the whole country is going crazy over hazy IPA. Don't you think you'd be like, all right, maybe I should explore this style and see why?
We talked about a local professional brewery just fucking ranting on, before millennials started brewing, hazy was bad. And it's like, well, it wasn't bad. If you have a hazy fucking wit, it's fine. That's to style. It's a yeasty style. Like, it's a different style. Like, I don't understand why people are having such a fucking hard time with it.
Yeah. It's frustrating.
It's part of the process. That's all I can think.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like there's always a negative reaction to any new style because it's out of style,
Mark my words. Ritual Brewing Company will have a hazy IPA in at least a year.
No, I don't know about that.
Okay.
What do we?
I'll put $10 on it. How about that?
I'll take that bet.
All right.
What else we got next?
We've got a little thing from Other Half Brewing in Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah.
Dude, Juan hooked us up.
He really did. He fucking smashed all the heavy hitters right now, man.
Yeah,
I'm telling you guys, Juan is super fan, like Kyle Wells level. I don't want to.
No, I don't think anyone's Kyle Wells level, man.
Juan, if you
Kyle is in like the Mount Olympus of 4B fans,
Juan,
and we love him.
If you run into me, if you see big fat me in a fucking whale shirt at a beer festival, I will give you a hug. You've earned
just
it.
make sure it's like
with me.
Make sure it's like early in the beer festival though, because no one should ever hug later in a beer festival.
Yeah.
That's just a big sweaty mess.
I'm pretty sure I've actually run into him a couple times IRL. So
no.
I've never met one. I'm pretty sure I've met him a couple times. So, but next time I see you, I owe you a hug because these beers,
fuck yeah,
these beers are dope, and you're an awesome dude for sending them to us. And anybody who sends us beer, I'll give you a hug if I see you in real life.
But if
Jason, I'll give anybody a hug.
But if I'm really sweaty, I'll warn you, and I'll say, I'd give you a hug, but I'm really sweaty.
So I want to talk about Other Half's branding and their like labels. It's just there's a cleanliness to it, you know. They always keep their font really small. They keep their labels. It's not super busy. It's always really bright and colorful. Again? This is stacks on stacks. Stacks.
It's weird because it's super subtle, but you can recognize it. Like you're like, oh yeah, that's another half can.
I like their logo. It's super duper simple, but it's like really distinctive.
Almost like
very minimalist.
Infinity logo.
Everything they do is very minimalist. Yeah.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that. I appreciate being able to keep it simple, but also really distinctive. That's hard.
This can, the label is kind of metallic, which it's on a metal can, so it works very well. It's like a green, greenish yellow.
I smell the green in my nose.
That looks so nice.
It smells like that green.
Citra, Mosaic, and El Dorado hops.
Fucking El Dorado, man. Like, you know, here's something funny about El Dorado is I've noticed that El Dorado, while not the same kind of gross, I liken it to Sriracha Ace almost, to where it's... I haven't had a single hop El Dorado beer that I've liked for some reason. I couldn't tell you why. It's been a while, but that doesn't like ring like factual to me. But I mean, when people throw El Dorado into things as part of the blend, it really kind of helps elevate other hops that you get a shitload of all the time.
Is El Dorado in Grunion? Or maybe it's Calypso in that beer.
That's Calypso, I believe.
Don't know.
Sorry, I'm just taking a picture of a sleepy dog over here.
It's okay. I'm looking at guitar pedals.
What you motherfucker? That's completely unrelated to what we're doing.
You're taking a picture of a dog.
I was gonna.
Yeah, the dog's in the room.
My computer is also in the room.
God, that doesn't count, you piece of shit.
But like smell this fucking beer, you guys. God damn.
This honestly, like, yeah,
the
Treehouse stuff was great, but
this is kind of I feel
this beer fucking hits. It's, and I feel like this is a little bit of a East meets West. It's not fully into that New England style. It has notes of that, but it's not fully into that soft mouthfeel, like.
Yeah,
creaminess.
It's a little bit drier. It's a little bit more bitter. It's not. It still isn't harsh at all. We should also note that this is a double IPA too, and so we're kind of expecting more bigness out of it. This is like 8.5.
8.5. Yeah.
So
and this actually reminds me a lot of Monkish, which is funny because Monkish did the Other Half, I think, collab.
They've done a couple
just before they started doing, like right when they started doing their cloudy. I think maybe their first one was an Other Half collab. Actually,
was it really?
Their first cloudy IPA. Yeah, the shitty dickheads on the forums have been like, Other Half taught Monkish how to brew. Like fucking Henry doesn't know how to make a fucking IPA.
Yeah,
well,
seriously. But then again, I mean, like, brewers always pull shit from other brewers, you know, and so it wouldn't surprise me if. Henry picked up a lot of stuff from.
Oh, sure, but it's like, he didn't know how to make IPA until they. It's like, fuck off.
Yeah, I mean, come on. But that being said, god damn this beer.
Yeah, wow, this is probably my favorite of the set right now.
Wow. I'm gonna agree.
This is a really good beer.
Yeah,
and I love this fucking cool label. Just super minimalist. Just
yeah, I mean, this is really like that. Like fruity, like, you know, mid brightness citrus is like really like popping out of this thing. Wow.
Yeah, it's not super bitter. It's not all, but there is a bitter profile there. It's not all like.
It's got a firmness, right?
It's not all hot bursted. It's not all like light. Yeah, it's got character. Like. Fuck, this is a really good double IPA.
It really, really is.
This beer is fucking killing it, man.
Going back to label, even that photo you posted in the Discord chat, like, that just looks great. It's like yellow, dark green, light green. The dollar bills
got that
stand out.
Gritty.
It's just, it's like the label itself is like great artwork.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's minimalist.
really cool.
It's minimalist art done really, really well.
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, their logo, it looks almost like the text at the end of a music video. Like,
Yeah.
just at the bottom, like other half, stacks on stacks.
That's a
fucking.
reference.
That, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like it's fucking really good, dude.
It's really nice when it's obvious that a brewery takes their presentation as seriously as they take their beer.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you can have, because that kind of shows you that, like, you know, the entire brewery is working all at once. Because I mean,
A
like,
shitty beer can be so elevated by the label. It's amazing. Brew Rebellion, a brewery we don't talk about a lot on this show,
for good reason,
makes shitty beer. But people buy their beer just because of the label
The
and
labels look
what they're
like
doing to
shit,
market
too.
the beer on the shelf. Like, and I mean, I shouldn't have used them as an example of like good branding because it's not good branding.
it's not very good.
But
I mean,
branding can take your beer over the top.
But then again, when you look at the ratio of, you know, beer quality to label quality, like, their label quality is spectacular compared to the quality of their beer. I mean,
well, it also matches the beer quality too. 'Cause I mean,
they suck.
When you wax dip your beers with what is it, Fruity Pebbles,
With breakfast cereal in it.
I mean,
fuck them.
That's unique, and I'll give them props for
I'm
that.
gonna go on
but-
record. Fuck Brew Rebellion.
Yeah,
Suck a dick.
I don't think any of us are you're gonna find any
No.
fans of Brew Rebellion here.
They're fucking garbage.
Yep.
And they're assholes.
They are.
From
That's the
all-
thing. If they were nice, then we'd be a lot like, you know, we wouldn't rag on them so
I did
hard.
have one interaction with their brewer at a festival, and he was nice to me for 10 seconds. But I've heard horrible stories. So fuck that guy.
Yeah, no, a lot of which
And
probably
their-
came from me.
And their brewery is a shithole. So fuck that place.
yeah,
I love that we hate Brew Rebellions.
Yeah, fuck Brew
Oh
Rebellion.
yeah, they fucking suck, dude.
I
They-
love that
they
we get to
brew-
hate a brewery.
They keep mama happy. Fuck them. It's so gross.
yeah, fuck them.
Great beer. This beer, winner of
Yeah,
the session.
I would say so.
I mean, nothing
I
against
don't know.
the El Segundo Clear AF, but I mean,
Yeah, if there's
Yep.
a standout beer, and I drink IPA like just as blood, and fucking like this is a standout IPA. It really,
it really
is
is.
fantastic.
Yep.
Stacks on stacks on stacks. Fucking make this rain in
what
my
if
mouth.
Elso did a collab with Other Half?
El Segundo?
I think
be
that would create what is known as a singularity, and we would all be consumed and die.
Dude, El Segundo and Monka should do a collab.
Yeah, for real.
They're like right there. I
Why
feel like
not?
there's probably a
Essentially.
reason. I don't know. Maybe they're like we're
Well, they're very far apart.
we're
but
of different.
they're still LA breweries, so
They're like 25 minutes apart. Drive.
with traffic, probably an hour.
Well, everything in LA is an hour. With
Yeah,
traffic.
seriously, that doesn't say
You
much.
drive
It's
to
not
your-
saying much.
Your neighbor's house is an hour with traffic in
Mm-hmm.
LA. Californians, LA traffic, eh? Am I right?
Me going to Riverside is a 30-minute drive. So.
Local references.
Stupid Californians.
Local jokes get you local work. That's what I always say. Anywho, Sand City Brewing Company -1+2 Galaxy and Mosaic IPA.
This is a new brewery to me.
I've
Yeah.
never heard of them.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Who's it again?
Sand City
City.
Brewery in Northport, New York.
Sand City Brewing Company.
I did a daddy pour, so
It's all
sorry.
good.
Sorry, fam.
Yes, Sand City. I am 21. This is gonna be a tough one here.
This beer has an average right now on Untapped of 4.45.
Holy shit.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
That's
like
good for Untapped.
with how many reviews does it say?
430. So
That's-
not a lot.
Well, still, but 430 that's a pretty decent number.
It was also added 915. So this is a brand new beer.
Okay.
We're getting fucking
Smell this beer.
We're getting some hot off the presses beer from fucking Juan right now.
This has like a West Coast-ish IPA smell to it.
Yeah,
I think.
that's some sea hop action right there.
Smells good, man.
That smells pretty fucking good.
That smells really, really good.
Yeah, that smells really good. I also want to point out that they have an IPA called Mofosaic, which I am all about.
I'm into that life too. Galaxy and Mosaic, those are two of my favorite hops. So
It's like it's really like grassy to me, I think. Grassy and a little earthy, little bit of fruit in there too.
I'm not getting like a lot of grass.
I am. That's grassy.
I haven't tried it yet. I'm posting pictures in the chat. Matt made a face.
I can see Matt.
Are you guys getting like a smokiness right now? Like a smoky kind of ester? Or phenol, I should say?
Nope.
Is it just me?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be there.
See, if Greg were here, this be 50-50. I don't get any smoke. I don't know what you're talking about.
A little bit. I'm halfway. I'm the halfway point between you two.
Yeah, it's
smoke on the aroma,
on the flavor, like in the back end, and not actually like smoke, but more of like a phenolic kind of thing.
No, I get where you're coming from. I can taste it, but I probably wouldn't have pulled it if I hadn't looked for it.
No. Yeah, I don't get that at all.
I mean, I'm enjoying it. Admittedly, this probably shouldn't have gone last.
I didn't buy alcohol, man. This is a double IPA that is it's 8.2, so it should probably.
I think also the alcohol does stand out a bit on this beer.
This
too.
one is hot. It's kind of hot. I will say the hop profile. This is cloudy, right? This is a cloudy IPA again, New Englandy style. It is muddled. Like Galaxy and Mosaic are two very prominent hops that have a very prominent profile.
Yeah.
And I'm not getting either of them in this. And that is one of the curses, I guess, of this style is it kind of doesn't matter what hops you use. Like Monkish released 100 different cloudy IPAs and they'd be like, this one is fucking Mosaic, this one's Citra, this one's fucking whatever. They all fucking kind of taste the same.
You weren't here when I made this reference, but Craft Cascade, Jacob Talamontes' YouTube channel, Roshni said, with these beers, you can't dissect the hops. It's going to be muddled no matter what. And
right.
Like you,
Part
Matt,
of the style,
like the whole smearing thing.
Yeah,
whatever.
the smearing effect.
You can't break down the hops. For
also
this,
a good beer name. Man, we are kicking it with the beer names on this session.
What's the beer name?
It's the smearing effect.
But I think this beer, though, is... It's a mid-level take on a hazy IPA.
Yeah,
it's not quite there.
Yeah,
it's a hell of a lot better than some examples that we've had.
It's definitely. I would drink this.
It's competent.
It's fine.
The mouthfeel is good. The mouthfeel is good. It's not gritty, which is one of the problems that we talked about.
It's one of the fatal New England IPA flaws.
But like where the other half beer, which was kind of in the same vein, had a hop impact. These hops kind of just fall onto your palate. Like it doesn't grab you. Yeah. And you're drinking a double IPA, you're going for impact. Like you're going for a big hit. And this beer doesn't quite have the big hit. It's a good beer. I'm not getting any off flavors. Right. I'm not getting any weirdness. But I feel like the hop presence isn't quite where I'd like it to be.
I definitely want to try more from them because I mean, this is... We've had breweries before that we've had one beer and we're like, yeah, and then we've had others that we've been impressed.
This is a good first impression of this brewery.
Yeah,
it's not perfect, but it's...
What this tells me that we have a technically competent brewery that could dial in the recipe a little bit better.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad criticism to have. Like it's a well-made beer. Like again, we're not getting bad flavors out of it. I'd like to see more punch out of it, like a little bit bigger,
more oomph.
Again, for a double IPA, the oomph I'm getting is alcohol, and I don't want it to be out. When I drink a double IPA, I don't want the booze to be the biggest flavor.
Yeah,
you know,
it's almost like their mineral their mineral content is off on the water, because it's just so middle of the road and like slushy kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, nothing pops like with like a West Coast IPA, like high sulfate. It's bitter. It's dry. With a like good New England beer, it's a lot of chloride. It's soft. And this is just in the middle and kind of weird.
Yeah, but like I said, I definitely want to try more
beer.
From
like if I got a pint of this, like I'd finish my pint. I'm not gonna like not drink it. But yeah, if they could get like a pop out of it, like the aroma could pop a little bit more, the flavor could pop a little bit more. Just Yeah, they're like almost there. It's like frustratingly close.
Yeah, seriously.
It's a good beer that's frustratingly close to being a great beer.
Yeah. Well, right on. Juan, thank you again so much for these. Like, this is just a fucking pot of whales right here.
You're a hero, Juan.
For sure.
Good beer.
If you want to find Four Brewers online, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, and Tumblr. Find all the information on fourbrewers.com. Go to fourbrewers.com/live if you want to hang out with us while we're taping the show.
Fourbrewers.livejournal.com.
find all of our confessions. Go to fourbrewers.com/YouTube to find all of our ooey gooey video content. Go to patreon.com/fourbrewers if you want to donate to the show. Leave us a rating on Apple Podcasts or any...
Does Stitcher do ratings? I don't know.
I would assume so.
I don't know. Maybe.
I hope so.
Or on Overcast, which me and John are fans of.
Yeah, if you're on Overcast, give us a star or recommend. That's a thing you can do on Overcast. So, yeah.
And then if you want to get in touch with us directly, hit us up at feedback@fourbrewers.com and brew the shit out of it.
Brew it in your butt.
Yep. Sorry, guys. My ride's here. I got it.
Matt's going to a concert. Right?
Yes.
Who are you saying?
It starts in 6 hours, so he's got to go.
Oh,
but like
that's right.
I got to go home and like shower and change and shit. We got a hotel, so
You're real
shower.
Sweaty. You're real sweaty from podcasting in an air conditioned room.
I didn't take them this morning.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Jesus.
Matt's a dirty hippie.
I fucking scrubbed up. I came real clean.
I ran for a half hour. I ran 2.5 miles this morning.
You're wearing a sweater because you're a hipster. It doesn't matter what temperature it is.
Fair.
It's just your life. You're like, it's 90 degrees out. Matt's like, well, I got a hoodie and a fucking knit cap.
No, it was below 80, and that's why I'm like, hoodie time.
It's hoodie time?
It's hoodie hoo time.
All right. We're done. We are done at 1:30.
Yeah.
We should do this all the time. This is great. Or is it?
I liked it.
All right. If you're watching the video stream, that's ending right now. Bye.